I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I am your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita. And back with me in quite a mood today, all because of Gavin Newsom and bullshit statistics, is Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell. How you doing over there?
Good.
You're about to go Bill O'Reilly on everybody. It's great.
I think I got my worst part of my rant out of the way before we started, but you know I'm always prone to relapse. Did you end up having any luck with the jet ski ordeal over the weekend?
Nope.
All right. Well,
No.
I ended up with a fun story from my getting a car experience.
I'm
So
listening.
after we got done with the
Something
show,
bad happened, so I can feel good.
yeah, you're gonna laugh your ass off probably. After we got done with the show, Sean and I went up to get it, and I had my temp tags and all of my paperwork and everything, and all of my like shit that I was gonna put in the car, the stuff that I take with me to work because it's gonna be a work, driving to work car. So I set my phone on the roof of the car and put the temp tags on, and I'm getting all my shit in the car and everything. And Sean leaves, and apparently when he was leaving, he saw my phone sitting on the roof and didn't bother to like roll his window down and say, "Hey, Dad, don't forget about your phone or whatever." So guess what I ended up doing? Forgot about my fucking phone, and I don't know. I got a couple miles down the road, and I heard something. It sounded like something, fell off the car, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like, it didn't feel anything vibrate or rattle or anything. I was like, "I just drove this thing this morning. Surely, I don't have parts falling off." I was like, "Whatever." So, a little bit later, about halfway home, I realized I don't have my phone on me. I'm like, "Oh." So I turned around and go back, thinking, surely to God, whenever I pulled out of the lot where the car was, it would have just, because I had set it on the back. It wasn't like I, cradled it in there somewhere where it would sit. I thought, surely to God, it would have just fallen off in the grass. No. It wasn't there in the grass. Apparently, the phone was what I heard fall off the car and got just smashed to a million pieces on the side of the road. So I got to go get a new phone on Saturday, which is always such a fucking wonderful experience. Anytime I go to an AT&T store, I just want to kill everybody in the store and burn the place to the ground. Like, the most pointless thing on the planet is the cell phone store, because you can do everything online. Like, they don't even carry a decent selection in the store anymore. You get a better selection shopping on their website for phones and stuff, and they'll usually overnight you the phone, or at least second day. Like, it's not like you're waiting forever for the phone to show up. So I had to go to the AT&T store to get a new phone. And surprisingly, this was actually the one time that I had a good experience. But I figured this out. Both of the dudes working in the store were like uber nerds. The one guy that was helping me had BO. The other guy had like long stringy hair and this like really weird looking beard. And they were talking about like a bunch of like good old school nerd shit. Like, if I'm going to have somebody help me at the AT&T store, these are the guys that I want because they actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Like every other time I've gone to an AT&T store, you just get the like fucking eye candy salespeople that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Like, I want the nerd brigade that's going to actually like know how to set up a phone. That's going to look at my. They looked at my bill and like my devices and stuff. They're like, oh, you got a hotspot. Oh, that shouldn't be on there with a data limit. They're like, we're going to fix that. Hang on, let me get you a card for that, and let me do this, and this, and they're like, all right, now your hotspot has unlimited data. They're like, oh fuck, all right. So, like, I actually had a great AT&T experience. I was in a foul mood the whole day though, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know. I just wasn't in a great mood. Stephanie said I was unpleasant to be around all day Saturday, but I got a new phone and I got a new car and everything's right with the world now. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I would have been livid with myself if I had destroyed my phone like that. I still wouldn't be over it. I just sent you. Did you ever watch that show Louder Milk?
Yes.
The phone scene from that is like one of the best fucking scenes of any TV show. I just sent it to you. I don't know if it's a little too long to play on the episode, but it's dude, yeah, buying a new phone. Well, the last couple phones I've just done online, but yeah, I couldn't play this.
Let's watch at least a little bit of it.
Sour milk? Mr. Sour Milk? Sour Milk?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Colton. How can I help you?
He just called my name, except it's Sam Loudermilk.
Oh, I'm sorry. This appointment is for Mr. Sour Milk.
No.
Sour Milk?
No, that's me. It just autocorrects to Sour Milk.
Well, I'm sorry, but the screen says Mr. Sour Milk. I'm happy to make you another appointment, though. What did you say your name was?
Sam Loudermilk.
Yeah, but... Oh, if you could just take a seat, just for a second. Thank you.
Did they have beanbag chairs for you at the AT&T store?
No.
Sam Loudermilk?
God damn it.
I'm Colton. How can I help you?
We've met. I need to get a new phone. A baby peed on it, and it doesn't work.
What's your ID and password?
Well, I have no idea. You mean the password I used to get into the phone?
No. That's your passcode. Your ID will have the same alphanumeric password you use to log into the SkyCloud.
Oh, the SkyCloud account. Why didn't you say that? No, I don't know what that is. I'm just looking to get a new phone. Do we need that?
Yes, we do. But not to worry. You can actually reset your user ID and password right from your mobile device.
But my phone won't turn on. That's why I'm here. Can I just give you my license?
No. Why don't we start with your phone number? Do you know that?
Yes, I know that.
All right, I found you. Okay, so what kind of device were you looking to get today? The new Z, the ZR, the Z9? We do have a couple of the new ZR9s, but we're sold out in Graphite Dream.
Just give me whatever one is cheapest.
That really depends on what you're looking to get out of your mobile device. Do you use a lot of social media and networking apps? Do you like to create and upload digital content?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, so how do you use it?
As a phone. Just get me
Can I just stop you for 1 second? These are much more than phones.
It was funny because my old phone was completely destroyed and there was nothing, like I couldn't find it. They can use your driver's license now. He was like, let me get your license and we can scan that in and like get all the information. It's like, oh, that's like really fucking handy. He was like, yeah, about 8 months ago, they finally decided to implement something like this. I was like, amazing. I've had a fucking cell phone for 20 years. 8 months ago, they finally decided maybe using your driver's license to identify you as a human being was a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wouldn't work for any of the illegals that are trying to get phones. But, dude, the password, I'm having like fucking flashbacks. That is like my personal hell is trying to log into all this shit when you have a fucking issue. And I did go on like an hour-long rant on the Substack about this. I don't know if you listened to it. But that had to do with like banking shit. But it's the same thing. I give you my ID. No. Can you call me? No. We need your email. They would only accept this email that I no longer had access to. It's like, that is the dumbest fucking thing ever. Oh God. Yeah, there should be a better way. And yeah, license makes sense. I still have to go through. I'm trying to claw back. I forgot to mention this in the rant. Before I realized I should shut it off, I had automatic contributions going to the Chicago public transportation horse shit. You know, like pre-tax dollars. They take like $100 a month and they load it onto the Venture card. And this was in like once COVID started, it took me like 4 months to shut it off. So I had like $500 on this fucking thing. And I realized, I was like, oh, the card's still good for like another 10 years or something. And I was like, can I get this money back? And they're like, only you have to prove that you've left the state of Illinois to get your money back off of this card. There's no way to cancel it. There's no way to just be like, okay, yeah, no, I don't want to do this anymore. You have to prove to them that you've left. So you need like a new state ID and a fucking, a new lease agreement with your name on it, or a new property tax bill or something. Like all the shit that I don't have to get my own money back. It's unbelievable. That's going to be the next project. I'm not giving Chicago $500. I don't care. I will die on that hill. I will, if I have to get a new license from some other state that I don't live in, I'm going to pretend like I live in Wisconsin. I'll do it.
Look, I've told people before, this garage actually has an address. Now, there's not a mailbox or anything. I can't receive mail here, but it has an address. So if you need to like use this as a front for something, this is a legal address. It exists.
Will think about that. Can you get me on the utility bill?
You know what? I bet I could.
Shit. We'll make that the headquarters of Peddling Fiction.
Put your name on the internet bill.
Well, what kind of phone did you get?
iPhone 15. I don't know, the basic.
Fancy one.
So, like, that was funny in that clip. They're trying to like upsell him on the different phone. Use it for all this stuff. The guys looked at my account. They said, do you still want to get another iPhone? I was like, yes. We walked over. He said, this is the 15. It's going to be the closest thing to what you had. I was like, all right, then let's do that. He said, this is the 16, whatever. He's like, it's just bigger. This is the 16E. He said, you don't want that. He's like, the 15, it's basically the same thing you had. He's like, okay, let's do that. Like,
I've never been an Apple guy. Still, I never will be, I don't think. But it just seems like they've kind of lost a step. With all every time a new iPhone comes out now, it just kind of has like more storage. Like that's it. And they moved the fucking port around, so you got to get a new cord. They changed the charging cord, and yeah, you get a little more storage, maybe a couple more pixels on the camera or something. But they're not innovating. And it doesn't seem like, they're not really leading the charge. They're a phone that you can like fold in half now and shit. Like there's all kinds of crazy stuff that they're doing. Apple doesn't seem to be really doing any of that. And their stock price is probably kind of reflecting it. But it seems like, I don't know, maybe it's because Steve Jobs is no longer around to kind of crack the whip. That they're just kind of coasting on what they've already accomplished. And they're just going to kind of dust it off and rebrandish it, rebrand it every fucking year or whatever they come out with a new phone.
Yeah, it's and you might be onto something with the Steve Jobs thing. Like maybe he was the whip that was driving all innovation. He's like, no, we're not going to keep doing the same thing. Do better or get fucked.
Yeah, well, and I know Apple people love their fucking Apple stuff, and they like that it's all kind of connected. I guess that helps with maybe when you're having login issues, unless you can't remember your main fucking password. I went through that with my parents because they have like they didn't know what their Apple ID was or something.
Well, and that's the handy thing is I've had the same email and password for my Apple stuff since 2011. Like I refuse to change the password on anything unless I'm forced to, and even then I just use a slight variation of the same password every time. All of my Apple stuff is the exact same and has been for 14 plus years. So I didn't have any problem like logging back into everything and getting everything pulled up once I got it. It was crazy, like how much they expect when you get a new phone that you're just like trading in or you're just going from an old phone to a new phone, and how many apps and things want you to verify on the old device that you're using the new device. And like, I don't have the old device. The old device is in a fucking ditch somewhere, blown to a million pieces. So that was kind of annoying. But once I got Facebook was the fucking worst. I enter my password and then I do the 2-step verification where I verify my password through my email. And now it wants me to do a 3rd step to allow the login on the old device. I'm like, well, I don't have the old device. So I go to select a different method. And the only different method that it'll give me is you have to submit a ticket to customer support with a video of you like showing them your face so that they can verify that you are you to then grant you access to your own fucking account. I almost deleted a Facebook account, and like you'd had to run your own Peddling Fiction Facebook group because I was this fucking close to saying Facebook can go to hell.
I remember I took like a year off because I just like couldn't remember my thing, and it's just I have to be in a very forgiving mood to deal with any of that. I'm like, I have to like work up to, it's like going to the gym or something. It's like, all right, I have to like mentally prepare when I'm going to attack a password issue because it's going to be a fucking nightmare and I'm going to lose my shit like 10 times. So I have to like mentally, before I even attempt it, I got to make sure I block off like an entire afternoon. And then I have to prepare to just be like irritated beyond belief before I can get into any of these things. It is, and I feel like if somebody were to break into any of my stuff or like, dude, you're lucky your phone actually was destroyed. Like the shit that you can like access on people's phones now is insane. And we're just walking around, like you're just walking around with your life savings in your pocket, essentially. That does make me very nervous. I know Apple has that thing where you can kind of just shut off you can like lock up all your accounts at once pretty quickly. So that's a nice feature. But it's like, I don't know, dude. I feel like if somebody were to get into my stuff, like none of this would stop like a good hacker. It just stops a retard like me. It drives me absolutely fucking crazy. Oh, man. Well, market's going to close on the low of the day, even though there was no news today. I know Donald Trump was supposed to speak this morning. Did he say anything noteworthy?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know that.
We have world peace because the markets don't like it. Markets are down across the board, although the Dow's basically flat, which is interesting. They seem to be like all rotating days. Like one day, one sector will get fucking rocked, and then the next. Because today the Nasdaq is just getting fucking hammered. It's down 1.4%. The Dow's flat on the day. S&P is down a little bit, 0.6%. Yesterday, I don't know. Yesterday everything was kind of flat. I know we have the FOMC meeting this week, so we're gonna get the minutes tomorrow, and then Friday. Is Friday the Jackson Hole or shit? Is Friday Jackson Hole horse shit? I think it is. Let's check the calendar. Yeah, Jackson Hole Symposium. I guess that starts Thursday. They get to hobnob it at Jackson Hole, all these fucking bankers. And then Friday, Chairman Powell's going to speak. So going to be an interesting week in the stock market, I think. I don't know. We'll see if they can not spook the markets. But based on a lot of this data, a rate cut that the market wants is not really justified. But what the market wants, the market tends to get, doesn't it? They don't like to spook these guys. But anyway, speaking of meetings, we had Trump meeting with Zelensky yesterday. Is that yesterday?
And he met with Putin just a few days ago.
Over the weekend, right?
Yeah, over the weekend. The Putin meeting got everybody in an uproar because they went and met in Alaska, and Putin said some things that the left didn't like.
I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine.
Putin actually said, I can confirm if Trump had been president, this war never would have happened.
Dude, sometimes I wonder if they're just like, fuck it. Like, if they just fuck with people and Trump got him to say that. That's so he's like, yo, you want to do a deal? Next time you talk to our media, just tell them this would have never happened if I was president. That's got to make Trump the happiest fucking guy. Like, if he wasn't there next to him, he would have been doing his little Trump dance off to the side. Well, there you heard it from the horse's mouth. So Trump would have totally avoided this war.
Did you see the one clip where they had just gotten off the planes and were coming together, and there was some leftist reporter out there screaming questions like, President Putin, when are you going to stop committing war crimes? President Putin, is anybody going to be held accountable for all the war crimes? President Putin. And he's just like, what? I can't.
Yeah, I saw he took a ride in the Beast too, and that had everybody upset. This is embarrassing, having a hostile foreign leader. Dude, people get riled up about the dumbest shit. They all of a sudden they're just they're really concerned about the Rose Garden and what that looks like, as if you're ever gonna set foot in there. And Donald Trump's put in too much gold stuff in the Oval Office, which is real Trump, dude. He just emblazons everything in gold. And now Putin's riding in the sacred vehicle of the president. This is embarrassing. And oh my God, dude. I don't even know what to say about these people. It's so ridiculous that people get this riled up about the dumbest shit. It's like, hey, you want to stop the war that's A, costing us a ton of fucking money we don't have, and B, killing a bunch of people that are they don't need to die. I think I saw the other day that 70+% of Ukrainians are ready to just fucking negotiate an end to this war. They'll give Putin what he wants. within reason. Like, obviously, like, you can't just take all of Ukraine, but like, you can keep what you've taken, and we're just done with this. It's like almost an 80-20 issue in Ukraine at this point, and we're still holding on to this. Like,
speaking of Ukraine and some other things that have got the left all in a tizzy. So Trump had the meeting with Zelensky. It wasn't just with Zelensky. It was Zelensky, Macron, and a couple others that all came to Washington to discuss next steps following the Putin meeting. So here's another. So Zelensky showed up. This time he had a proper suit on, and Donald Trump complimented him on his suit and how nice he looked. And then here's another clip that got the left all up in the uproar.
Upon peace, God willing, we get peace. Are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, and the sea, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, I wonder what the fake.
You like this idea?
No. Speaking of.
So there you have it. Donald Trump is gonna get us into a war just so that there's no elections, right?
And then we follow that up. He took all of these world leaders that came to visit the White House, and he gave them a 4 more year Trump, the red hat with the white lettering, just very basic, but it's the MAGA hat. He gave him a 4 more years MAGA hat.
Dude, so yeah, I did see a lot of people were like embarrassed, that all these other world leaders had to come just to make sure like things didn't get out of control because it's Donald Trump, and they're so embarrassed on the world stage now because Donald Trump is the president. And again, dude, I just don't understand why people align themselves with. I mean, like, I follow politics pretty closely, but like I never get this emotionally involved with politicians, and like I'm never like, oh yeah, I'm so embarrassed like to talk to like French people because of who the president is and things like that. It really is like, dude, politicians are such fucking losers and dorks. It is refreshing to have Donald Trump. Donald Trump is literally like the first president that wasn't a fucking dork.
Check this one out. This one's pretty great. So he's got all these NATO leaders up there with him.
It's not a good day. It's not a great day.
Points to his painting. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty badass painting. For the listening audience, it's the picture right after he got allegedly shot. Some people are still not convinced. They still think they're still clinging to the fact that he faked it. He faked getting shot in the ear. Like, dude, it would be so much easier to fake getting shot someplace else.
like take one to the shoulders. So like if you're going to stage a fake shooting, take one to the thigh, take one to the shoulder. Like there's plenty of body where you can take a bullet and not have long-term like serious damage.
Yeah.
To get shot in the fucking ear, man.
These people are fucking deranged. It really is unbelievable. But so he was pointing, he just like directed everybody to a painting of that picture of him yelling fight, fight, fight right after he gets up from being shot. It is just To me, everything he does is like fucking hilarious, and it just drives everybody that can't stand him. It drives them so crazy. I don't know anybody else that has that effect on people. It's that polarizing.
Like even George W. Bush, for as much as the left hated him when he was president, like I don't feel like Trump, like as soon as Bush left office, they were just kind of done with him. Like they didn't hate him so much anymore because he wasn't the president anymore. When Trump left office, they continued to go after him like relentlessly for 4 more years. Like, and which is probably why he's back in the White House now. Like I sincerely think if when Trump lost in 2020, if they had just left him alone and moved on, I think he would have just like ridden off into the sunset and hid out in Mar-a-Lago. But they kept pushing it, and they brought him back, or they kept him in the spotlight and made him into more of a cultural phenomenon than he already was. Like they created this monster. This is entirely their own fault.
Yeah, there's a good chance. I don't know. I'm sure he doesn't like to lose, so he might have tried to get some sort of revenge with another victory. But they basically made it like a do or die situation because they were going to keep coming after him, and unless he retook power, he wasn't going to be able to kind of reverse the course of all the horseshit that they were trying to pull. But now that he is back, so nothing came from these meetings as far as we can tell.
Follow up. Yes. So this was released a little while ago on Truth Social. I had a very good meeting with distinguished guests, President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, Emmanuel Macron of France, Alexander Stubb of Finland, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni of Italy, Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom, and Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany, Friedrich Merz, President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, in the White House, which ended in a further meeting in the Oval Office. During the meeting, we discussed general guarantees for Ukraine, which guarantees would be provided by the various European countries with a coordination with the United States of America. Everyone is very happy about the possibility of peace for Russia and Ukraine. At the conclusion of the meetings, I called President Putin and began the arrangements for a meeting at a location to be determined between President Putin and President Zelensky. After that meeting takes place, we will have a trilateral, which would be the 2 presidents plus myself. Again, this was a very good early step for a war that has been going on for almost 4 years. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff are coordinating with Russia and Ukraine. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
All right, so you got a future meeting set up. So I mean that is a step in the right direction to putting this all to bed, and it has been. I mean, we're coming up on 9 months now of him, the greatest deal maker of all time, being in control of this thing, and not a whole lot had really happened. He had that disastrous meeting with Zelensky back in like February. Now, Zelensky put on his fucking black. It looked like he was going to a funeral or something. Black on black. Not a great look in my opinion, but I do appreciate him putting on a fucking suit. If he's, did he ask for any more money? Are we just going to give him like $20 billion just for
for wearing a suit?
Yeah.
It's probably what he spent on the suit.
Yeah. And so, yeah, dude, I really hope he can put a fucking end to this. It's what a pointless disaster. And, God, for us to be involved in it too. I mean, those guarantees that he's talking about, security guarantees for Ukraine.
Yeah, so they're working on they're going to work on some what they're going to do to secure Ukraine and kind of make sure that the transition to peace is carried out peacefully, I guess. It's bound to be better than the peace agreement between Iran and Israel, where they just fire off missiles for 72 hours or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, you got 13 more hours to kill each other. Go at it.
It's like, hey, we're going to stop shooting our missiles now, and then y'all are going to stop shooting your missiles here in about 12 hours. And then at the end of that, everybody's done. No more missiles, right?
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, okay, Zelensky put on a suit. That's great. He doesn't have a fucking leg to stand on. I don't know why Donald Trump is entertaining. I really hope he doesn't entertain any of these Zelensky demands, because I know that's his big thing. He's like, I want some sort of guarantee that no matter what happens, the U.S. is going to get dragged into a fucking war on their behalf. And we don't have to do that. Zelensky had, like Trump said in February, he was right. Like, you don't have the cards. You can't be making these fucking ridiculous. What a ridiculous demand that is when you have no leg to stand on. You're not getting a fucking security guarantee. You're just, here's the guarantee. Putin's going to stop attacking you. He's going to keep whatever he took, and that'll be that. But you're not getting into fucking NATO. That's the red line for Putin, and it's an understandable position. It needs to be sort of like a neutral territory. So I don't know. I don't like these. I don't like guarantees, especially ones to other countries that are going to entangle us in these fucking disastrous wars that are like, they're literally just coming up with ways to steal from you. That's all it is. It's just one more way for them to steal hundreds of billions of dollars. And they don't mind killing people in the process to do it. So anyway,
apparently, looking through more clips and stuff, apparently Zelensky really did the whole song and dance this time. Like, he wore the suit. He opened their meeting by thanking Melania for a letter that she had written to Putin, and brought a letter from his wife for Melania, thanking her as well. Like, Zelensky really did the whole thing to make himself more to put Trump on his heels and not be in the firing line right out of the gate. Like, and that was the problem with the first meeting, was he like came in making demands, and he was like, what are y'all going to do? And they're like, we don't have to do anything for you. The fuck do you mean? What are we going to do? Like, you should really change your tone and your attitude. And this time around, he certainly did.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, all you have to do is blow a little smoke up Trump's ass, and he's gonna be much more agreeable. Which is why it was such a disaster the way he played it back in February. Now he does a complete 180, puts on the suit, kissing Trump's ass, and now he'll probably get something from Trump that we don't want Trump to give away. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what comes out of this meeting. I do just want the whole fucking thing to end. But if it means, we're on the hook for any future issues, I don't know. We'll see. Donald Trump's always talking about these great deals that he makes. So I guess we'll reserve judgment until a deal is actually struck. But there's no reason for him to give up anything. None. This should be the easiest negotiation ever. It's just like, yeah, sit down. You sit down over there. Let me talk to Vladimir. But of course, he's Putin's puppet. I saw, going back to the election thing, Donald Trump wants to get rid of the mail-in ballots, and of course, he came up with this idea, according to Chuck Schumer. I think it was Chuck Schumer. Right? He had a meeting with Putin. Putin said he didn't trust the elections and that they might have been rigged, and now Donald Trump wants to get rid of mail-in ballots, as if this is the first time Donald Trump has ever talked about mail-in ballots before, and it just happened to come right after a meeting with Putin. Ergo, he's in Putin's pocket.
Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt and you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses it because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, but most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud.
Speaking of the fraud of mail-in voting, did you see this news story that came out this week? Dropbox camera catches ballot stuffing in fraud-plagued Michigan town. This guy is running for re-election. 3 days before the primary, he was caught stuffing these mail-in ballot drop boxes, like just I mean, ramrodding it in there, like as many ballots as he could get into this thing.
Dude, I heard that story. I didn't really look into it. I saw it posted in the comments of every fucking. Listen, you can watch the Democrats freak the fuck out about this day. I saw at least 10 articles about it. I saw every pussy politician on the left commenting on how this is a threat to our democracy or some horse shit like that on Twitter because we want to get rid of the mail-in ballots, which we've had for all of 2 elections, right? Since 2020, we had this. Okay.
In most places, yeah. There are some places that have always done mail-in, but if you look at the way they do it, it's like it goes based on their voter registration stuff, and like there's very, very little room for error on those. The way those do it, the way like most places, the way they do it is it's just like blanketed sending out blank ballots to people with the like the states that do it right. You get a pre-printed ballot that has all of your information on it and has to have a verified signature whenever you fill it out and send it back in, and has to be mailed by a certain date so that it arrives on time to be counted by election day. Like there's a lot of rules and stipulations on the places that do it right and have done it for decades. That's not the way most places do it that have started doing it since 2020, and then you have like these instances of the ballot stuffing. That town where that guy was caught ballot stuffing, he won by 78 votes, by the way. Won his primary by 78 votes. Imagine that. Also, that town has been, that's Hamtramck, Michigan. It's been completely taken over by Indians. Like Indian immigrants have just completely taken over the town. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, watch them freak out about this the same way they freaked out about redistricting. And you realize that they're tipping their hand. The reason they're freaking out is they're completely dependent on sending out these mail, because their typical voter is stupid and lazy, and they want to send them the ballots with that, basically with everything fucking filled out. They basically just have to sign it and put it back in the fucking mail. They want as little resistance to voting as possible, because those are the voters that they can fucking influence, and then they want to be able to carve up these districts that's in the most favorable way. They are completely dependent on this for power, which is why they're freaking out the way that they are. I mean, anybody that's being remotely honest would tell you that, yeah, having mail-in ballots is absolutely ridiculous. Like, just fraught with the option for fraud. I mean, come on. How are you gonna validate any of these things that come in? All it has is a signature on it. Like, yeah, of course there's going to be, and then you look at the numbers, like 81 million people voted for Joe Biden, and then this past election it dropped off by like fucking 20 million people. Okay. Sure. Had nothing to do with mailing in ballots. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we're the only country that does that. Most other countries, they want to verify that the people are voting are actually who they say they are. And the easiest way to get around that would be, let people mail shit in. It's very easy to do that. And we actually, like you're saying, like we have people already cheating in this. So it's just like the easiest thing to get rid of. The easiest thing. And it shouldn't be easy to vote. I want it very hard to vote. The harder, the better. You should raise the voting age. You should have fucking income limits, everything.
The founding fathers did not intend for everybody to be able to vote. That was not the point of democratic elections. So, and they can say it's racist or whatever. The stipulations were not white. It was like you had to have a vested interest in the goings on of the country. If you're a net taker, you don't have the right to vote. You should not have the right to vote.
Right. Because you're what are your incentives? To vote for whoever promises to take more shit for you. Obviously. And this whole idea of vote, like the reason you want voting is to get like the best form of government. Right? In theory, it's not about like everybody has a voice. If everybody has a retarded voice, what good is that? You want to get the best form of government, and you don't get that by letting every fucking idiot out there have a say.
I think there should be competency tests. Like you should have to take a test, and then at the end of the test, if you pass the test, now you can cast your ballot. If you don't pass the test on what's on the ballot, who's on the ballot, what you're actually voting for, like if you can't answer, say, 10 pretty basic questions that you should have been able to pick up from just like paying attention at some point over the last 3 months before the election, then like if you don't pass the test, then at the end of the test it just says, sorry, you're not allowed to vote today.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with any barrier they can put up. I love it. I want less people voting. And of course, what are the Democrats pushing for? Lowering the voting age, mail-in ballot, anything to get more people voting. Now, why would they want that?
If they start to pay attention to the numbers and see how like this next generation of young males is shifting not just to the right, but like to the right, they might reconsider that, trying to lower the voting age.
Yeah, there is that I forget the name of the generation that's coming up, but it makes sense that the pendulum has swung all the way to that side now. But yeah, they would love to be able to have fucking 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds voting, because they can just propagandize the shit out of them in the government schools, and get them to basically do whatever you want, and then you got them dependent on you from the age of 14. And then 13, and then 12, and then pretty like where do you draw the line? But they want to get their fucking claws into everybody as soon as possible, create that dependency. And it's never, for them, it's never about getting good government. It's about getting power. And for the American people, it should be about limiting the power. And the best way to do that is to limit the suffrage. I did just see, I think it's the anniversary of the 19th Amendment. Somebody posted that, 100 years or something. Yeah, has not gone great the last 100 years or so in terms of the U.S. I don't know if that falls squarely on the fact that women can vote, but it certainly didn't help. It didn't help the cause, did it? Anyway, we should take a second and thank our sponsor for today's show, which is Mikkel Thorpe of Expat Money. holding is this the third annual? This is the third one, at least the third one of the Expat Money Summit. The future is in Latin America. This is going to be October 10th through the 12th, and it is absolutely free for you to attend online. If you go to expatmoneysummit.com, you can reserve your free ticket. Right there, pops up for you, and then you can go listen to some of the greatest minds of our generation. I don't know if it's our generation, but of a generation. You got Ron Paul in there, Tom Woods, Scott Horton, Tom Luongo, to name a few. And they will be focused on Latin America and how you can secure your freedom and your financial liberty. They're going to be talking about, getting residencies or citizenships in other countries, maybe making foreign investments, how you can move some money around to get it out of the US dollar if you're looking to mitigate some of that risk, buy property abroad, all kinds of great topics for you. And I think you guys know how I feel about having more than one option. You never want all your eggs in one basket. So you need to diversify your portfolio and your lifestyle. If we learned anything from 2020, having just one passport might not be the best idea for you. Should some dictator get into office, one of these authoritarian fascists that they're always talking about. Eventually that day may come, and you may need to have a plan B. It's no longer optional. It is essential. So if you want to figure out how to go about doing that, how to go about rearranging your life so that you have more options when things hit the fan, go check out expatmoneysummit.com, reserve your free ticket, and then you can listen to some of these great talks they got going on October 10th through the 12th. And Mikkel Thorpe is a dear, dear friend of the show, so go support him and everything they do over there at Expat Money. All right. Now, speaking of authoritarian, psychotic dictators.
Is it time for Gavin Newsom and my rant?
It is. Yes, it is. Dude, right. Gavin Newsom clearly is positioning himself to run for president. He has been all over the fucking internet. It's getting pretty obnoxious, actually. And I think it's a little too early. Should he be doing this in 2025?
I think he has to, because the field is going to be so deep for the left. Maybe not deep, but crowded. Broad. Yeah, it's going to be very crowded. There's going to be a lot. There's probably not going to be a lot of depth to any of them, but there is going to be a whole bunch of them. So I think
their choices are so bad.
I think he has to get out ahead of it and start to position himself now before, because the crazy thing is polling is still showing that Kamala Harris is the front runner for the Democrats in 2028. If that's legit, they are in an abysmal state. Could you imagine JD Vance debating Kamala Harris? I mean,
yeah, dude. I don't know if I can take another Kamala Harris campaign. It's just she's just so bad at everything. But yeah, I mean they really don't have. They're still throwing out Pete Buttigieg. Which, did you see? He got 0% polling with black people. 0%, 0, dude. And this is after he did all this fucking kowtowing and a fucking pandering. Remember when he was talking about how the bridge overpasses were too low and that was racist because it kept the blacks out of the town or something? And after all this hard work that Pete Buttigieg did for transporting the black people around the country, they hit him with a 0%. Yeah, it turns out they don't like fags. They're not into the faggots. So Pete Buttigieg is going to get 0% black vote. You have Kamala Harris, who's not really black, tries to be. And then you have Gavin Newsom, the great white hope. who is like, if this was like, if he was not like a Democrat and saying all the Democrat things, like he would be the poster boy for evil Republican white supremacists. I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. Have you seen pictures of his family? They look like they're straight out of the fucking Third Reich. Blonde hair, blue eyes, white as white could be. But, you know, he says all the right things. So, and he's done a great job of running California into the ground. So,
well, I think you should start with Shreveport, Louisiana, in Speaker Johnson's district that has 6+ times the per capita murder rate of Nancy Pelosi, San Francisco. What about the carnage, Mr. President, in Shreveport? Why aren't you protecting the folks there? 8 of the top 10 murder states in this country, red states. What bullshit. And everyone knows it. Everybody knows it. Again, it's acts of authoritarianism. It's acts of power on a person that is trying to use his its formal authority, and it's depleting. And it's weak. It's increasingly weak, and it's increasingly desperate. And that's why it's important for us at this moment to meet him head on, not just rhetorically, but through substantive counteractions. And that's what we're doing in California with this ballot initiative.
All right, so he fucked up their favorite statistic to use anyway, that 8 of the top 10, he said murder states. The statistic is actually 8 of the top 10 gun-related death states are red states. So the problem with that statistic is that takes into account all gun-related everything, including suicide, cops shooting people, like everything. That's not just violent crime statistics. That is just all gun-related deaths. And they use red states for that. If you go to those red states and you remove suicides and cop-related shootings, every one of those states drops out of the top 10. If you remove, say, Alabama is one of their favorite because Alabama is usually in the top 2. If you remove Birmingham alone from Alabama, Alabama falls to like, I think just inside the top 20. Like, and every one of those red states that they talk about with the loosest gun control, having the most violent or having all of these like gun-related deaths, if you remove Birmingham, Memphis, Atlanta, like if you remove a single state or a single city from each of those states, all of them fall out of the top 20. So
that's where all the nice white Jewish kids live, right?
Yeah. And who runs those cities? Who runs? Like he used Shreveport. Shreveport has been run by black Democrats for the last 40 fucking years. Just because it's in Speaker Johnson's district does not mean that it is representative of Speaker Johnson. Shreveport has been run by black Democrats for the last 40 years. They have run that place into the fucking ground. Look at Jackson, Mississippi. Like, I mean, good God, it doesn't take a whole lot of research to figure out what the numbers actually tell you, but the left isn't going to actually take any time to, and again, that goes back to our, talking about voting and not allowing dumb people to vote. Like, all it takes is a little bit of research and you can debunk everything that the Democrats say about the gun stuff and throw it back on, hey, maybe it's actually like your fucking fault. But
yeah, it just sounds so good. And as soon as a Democrat hears that, it immediately feeds their preconceptions and their bias, where it's like, oh, see, yeah, 8 of the top 10 are red states, and they have the highest murder rates per capita. All of a sudden, they understand per capita.
And one of those states, they don't usually talk about which states they are. They just say 8 of the top 10. One of those is Alaska, that is like high in gun-related deaths. If you took out suicides, that takes out like 80% of their gun-related deaths. I can't imagine why people would kill themselves in a place that doesn't get sunlight for 6 months out of the year. But I don't think it's actually 6 months, but whatever it is, like, yeah, there's a long period of time where the sun don't shine. I can't imagine people shooting themselves in the head or anything like that whenever that happens. But yeah.
Yeah. And you would dude, it's so hard to counteract the statistical bullshit. Like they've been including suicides in all of their gun statistics for as long as I can remember. And every single time they bring it up, like every single time it's, you know, they cite one of these statistics, everyone's like, but you got to take out the suicides. Obviously, those aren't like, you can't include those in mass shooting deaths and things like that. But
Right,
they still do it.
If it's a murder suicide, that's one thing, but like people just off themselves, like
right.
odds are they were probably
going to
do that.
They would have done it. Yeah, they would have found a balcony to jump off of or taken some pills. Who knows? Both. Yeah.
Sounds like you're speaking from personal experience there.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just so goddamn disingenuous. And I don't know, dude. There's something about Gavin Newsom that's just like, where he's just like, why aren't you addressing this, Mr. President? What about these lives, Mr. President? Like, he gives a flying fuck, dude. This guy is such a goddamn narcissist. They're all narcissists, but this guy's like psychotically narcissistic. And he's always trying to play that fucking role that politicians play, where they had like some sort of tough upbringing. He'll be like, oh yeah, my parents were divorced, but his dad was the fucking lead attorney for Getty Oil. Like, there's pictures floating around the internet, and now he's trying to lean into this picture. He's like, oh yeah, I really love that scarf. I missed that scarf or something. Where he's sitting there, he looks like Richie Rich, like the biggest fucking douchebag of all time. Oh, look at this. Yeah, they're it's like he's modeling for fucking J. Crew or something. He's holding a newspaper. He's got his fucking scarf on, slick back hair. And they're just doing all these juxtapositions, like it's already a foregone conclusion. It's going to be him against J.D. Vance. And then there's J.D. Vance. I don't know what's going on in that picture. Some chicks pretending to pee in a urinal.
Y'all didn't stage dumbass pictures. I guess this was just like a rural thing. You stage dumbass pictures for the yearbook.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'm in at least 2 pictures very similar to this. I have my yearbooks over here. Like, I'm almost positive I'm in at least 2 pictures very similar to that.
Yeah. So yeah, Gavin Newsom he's going to try to play like I had a hard upbringing, blah blah. No, his parents bought him like a fucking vineyard or something. Like, he's been filthy rich. Like, yeah, his parents got divorced, but his dad was worth fucking millions, and he's come from money. His whole fucking career is based on the fact that he's a rich white dude. He's literally everything the left should hate. But if you say the right things, they will embrace you for whatever reason. And so that's what he's going for.
Gavin Newsom looks like the snobby villain whose dad is going to tear down the local hangout, and J.D. Vance is the unlikely hero to stop him and lose his virginity.
Yeah, you really got to see these images, but he's like the douchiest douche of all time. And he's just such a phony, even by politician standards. He's like super phony. And I sent you that. I know you were, well, I don't know if you still have it queued up, the portion of the interview that he did with Corolla. This was like 15 years ago.
Oh, no, I had that. I closed that.
Or maybe it was 12 or 13 years, like 2013 or something. Adam Carolla interviewed him for like an hour, maybe even longer. And dude, Newsom he's just spouting out meaningless platitudes and dancing around every fucking question.
And like the part that I had queued up was where Corolla was like, government is a monopoly. They have no competition, so they can just be as terrible as they want and do whatever they want. And there's no accountability. There's no responsibility for anybody involved. And Gavin Newsom is basically like, yeah, I know, that's how it is. Like, dude, like, just
yeah. It was a pretty good interview, like, because Carolla a lot of times wouldn't let him dance around a lot of these questions. I remember Gavin Newsom kept going off on like check cashing places and how black people couldn't get bank accounts. And Carolla would just be like, well, why not? What's wrong with them? Who can't get bank accounts? Like, you need like $5 to start a bank account. It's not hard. Like, I had a bank account when I was like 10 years old. So maybe we'll link to that in the description, because I haven't listened to it since. I remember listening to that when it first came out, and I was just like flabbergasted. You don't get a lot of interviews, and I'm sure he never did an interview like that again. This was like a long form interview with somebody that was not going to let you slide on all of your bullshit, and he came off looking like an absolute fucking just skeezy politician that wants to pander to, just blow smoke up fucking minorities' asses to make it seem like you care about them, when in actuality it just goes to show you how little they think of them. It's just like, oh yeah, like these predatory lending agencies are taking advantage of all these poor people, mostly blacks and Latinos, that can't get bank accounts. It's like, well, why can't they get a bank account? Well, what's wrong with them? Like, this is not a very high bar. If you consider people to be fucking people and you're not obsessed with their skin color or their nationality or something, then you just be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. If you're like a person of like a normal average IQ, you should be able to accomplish these menial tasks of getting a bank account and having a place. Like, if you get a job but you can't get a bank account, like, something's not adding up there. You can get a paycheck, but you don't have a place that will accept it without taking like a 20% VIG or something. I forget how these like. I will go my entire life without using a check cashing place. I guess that's just my white privilege, according to Gavin Newsom. But
all right, before we go, because I got to get ready for work, you said that Gavin Newsom might be one of the most phony politicians, but we had talked about Pete Buttigieg and his 0% with black people. I think they figured out just how phony he is. Here's the picture of Mayor Pete attempting to drink a 40 straight out of the bottle with the brown paper bag and everything. Like, I wish I could zoom in.
Up of his second tie, suit and tie.
I wish I could zoom in more on the picture on the top, like the face he's making as he's getting ready to take this beer to the face. Like, you can tell he is not feeling it. Like,
dude, why would you do that to yourself? Like, they have no fucking shame, and they are the biggest fucking like, look at this guy. And we saw, like, every time he tried to do something that like a normal human being would do, he did it like an absolute retard douchebag. Remember him trying to eat chicken wings? And what was that other thing that he was eating? It was like a donut or something. He ate it in like the weirdest way.
It wasn't chicken wings. It was a fucking cinnamon roll. But the way he was eating it, it looked like it's the way you eat chicken wings. Like,
okay, yeah, okay. I knew there was something with like a pastry that made him look like a retard. It's like, are they legitimately aliens? Have you ever been outside? What? And oh, dude, that was a picture of him. He's in between two black dudes. And he's got a 40 in a brown paper bag. He's wearing a shirt and tie, but he's got the sleeves rolled up like he's a man of the people. He's one of you, just Joe Sixpacks, drinking a 40. Like, come on, dude. That, like, have you no shame? And it's not even like, you can't even pretend like it's something you know how to do. Yeah, there he is. So he mangled this cinnamon roll up into pieces, and he's eating it. It looks like he's eating a wing. That's exactly. And it doesn't help that he's like, he kind of has like those rat-like features too. Oh my God. Really like, this is somebody that you want, that you look up to. This fucking loser. He clearly had zero friends in high school. every politician was the biggest fucking dork running for like student council and shit. And they're like absolute fucking losers who would have like been at the forefront of bullying back when we had like real live bullying. And then they joined this fucking, they figured out a way to get into this club where they can wield power and make money. And somehow people look up to them like they've accomplished something. Like, dude, that guy was the biggest fucking loser, I guarantee you, his entire life until somehow he got, what was he, mayor of? South Bend?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, dude, they're all a bunch of fucking losers. Stop looking up to them. Stop carrying water for them. They all fucking suck. And they are just the biggest dorks of all time. All right. Anyway. Gavin Newsom at least was cool. Like, I bet Gavin Newsom was like a fucking stud.
Well, when you got that much money,
sports.
When you got that much money, you almost can be, you can almost buy being cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but I bet you there's, I bet you he played like football or something or baseball, or he played a sport. He was like a normal, like, there's that. I saw one picture of him like staring at some chick's tits.
He is a serial adulterer. I think he's on his second or third wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he played baseball.
There you go. So at least he in high school?
Yeah.
Okay. There's something to be said for that. I played baseball in high school. Maybe I'll vote for him. He's just like me. But yeah, for the most part, dude, these politicians are such fucking losers. And the vast majority of them have accomplished nothing in the real world, like Bernie Sanders. And they just leech off of all the productive people in the country for their entire lives. It's disgusting. And somehow they get people to look up to them and to stand up for them. How many people are carrying water for Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders and who's the, whatever, Lindsey Graham, all these guys, dude. They're all a bunch of fucking losers. Start treating them as such. Stop giving them these, like, when you go and speak to, oh, Mr. Congressman, or, fuck that. They work for us, right? Allegedly. Start treating them like they're your fucking employees. Anyway, yeah, you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I got to go to work.
All right, I got to go maybe get some sun. Go for a beach walk. I'm done for the day. Markets are closed. I just got to go pick up my chicken dinner. Winter chicken dinner today. And we'll be back on Friday with a brand new episode. See what happens between now and then. I'm sure Donald Trump will do something to piss off somebody. Did you see that thing where he wants to take a stake in Intel? I got to look into that. Another fucking terrible idea. They're going to start seizing the means of... That doesn't seem to bother anybody. Somehow, actually, like, seizing the means of production does not bother these leftists. But if he makes a joke... Yeah. He makes a joke about fucking going to war so he doesn't have to have an election, and they're gonna shit a brick sideways. But until Friday, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.